Hello everyone, this is part 1 of What If Naruto Awakens the Rinnegan, and this story is made by Red Rover 117, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Fire Country, Valley of the Dawn. People say that things always come in threes. Bad things and good things, no matter what, they are always supposed to come in threes. The monstrous Mangekyo Sharingan, for example, had 3 sets of layers no matter which design you saw. Hell, the legendary Sannin was another example of this. They were all a team back when they were genin under the Sandaime Hokage, and they became some of the strongest fighters in the world. Sadly, no one wanted to inform Uzumaki Naruto of this little detail. His current teacher was one of the legendary Sannin, a man named Jiraiya, and the two had come across each other during the 1-month break in the chunin exams. Since Jiraiya had knocked out the boy's original teacher for the exam, he had to take the kid as his student and taught him the Kuchio's no Jutsu. Sadly, the boy's chakra network was so large it was nearly impossible to control. This was just made worse by the fact that Jiraiya discovered a suppression seal on him courtesy of his fellow Sannin Orochimaru. It was removed, however, and Naruto's chakra control shot up to its normal level, allowing him to master the water walking exercise. After many trials and errors at the Kuchio's no Jutsu, Jiraiya had enough and decided to have the boy try and draw out the monstrous chakra that was sealed in him by his own father. Forgive me, Minato, Jiraiya thought before he dropped her new student on the ground. Where am I? Naruto blinked and turned to him. Get up, Jiraiya ordered, and Naruto shakily stood. What is it? Naruto asked, unsure. Your training ends here. If you value your life, you've got to figure things out for yourself, Jiraiya said simply. Huh? Naruto asked, confused, before Jiraiya pushed him. The blonde genin reeled back and fell, straight into the large valley below. Oh crap. Now, we'll find out whether the QB is pleasing or a curse, Jiraiya mused as he saw his student fall. Naruto tried to use chakra, but every time he touched the wall he couldn't get any grip and kept on falling. If I can't grab onto something, then I'll die. I'm really going to die. Naruto's mindscape, Jinchuriki seal. Drip, drip, drip. Oh my aching head, Naruto groaned as he looked up. Where am I? He thought as he looked around the sewer-like environment he found himself in. A loud roar was heard as it echoed through the corridor. This feeling, it's that chakra. Naruto narrowed his eyes as he made his way through the corridor and entered a large room. What the heck is this? He asked in thought when he came across the large gate-like prison. Boy, come closer, a sinister voice said from the darkness beyond the gate. What the? Naruto jumped back as 4 large claws attempted to catch him through the bars. I want to devour you, but this gate, this seal prevents me from doing so. It won't open. How irritating, the voice growled out in frustration. Why you are? QB no Yoko, Naruto breathed out. Child of my enemy, why have you come? Even those eyes of yours will not save you from me, so tell me what you want or leave, boy, the giant fox roared in fury. Naruto gulped before he smirked up at the fox. Hey furball. I've been letting you live in my body all this time and you owe me rent. As payment I'll take you chakra. QB's sinister laughter echoed through the chamber before he responded, you've got some nerve, brat. You are either very brave or very stupid, just like he was. Very well, boy, I will reward you for having such nerve, but know that I am only doing this to help ensure my own survival. Red liquid leaked through the bars and engulfed the blonde where he stood. Fire Country, Valley of the Dawn. Kuchio's no Jutsu. Naruto called out as smoke exploded all around him. Jiraiya smirked from his position above the valley. Nicely done, kid. Just then Naruto shouted in pain, what's going on? The large toad, Gamabunta, jumped out of the valley with Naruto, who was covering his eyes and yelling in pain. Jiraiya, what's going on here? Gamabunta demanded as the Gamma Sennin jumped up onto his head and approached his student. This is Uzumaki Naruto, my new student and your new summoner. What's wrong, kid? Jiraiya asked, concerned. Naruto looked up at him and Jiraiya had to stop himself from falling. Oh no. His eyes. My eyes hurt, Ero Sennin. What's going on? Naruto asked frantically as tears were falling down his face. Your eyes? You have the Rinnegan, Jiraiya gulped. He has the what? Gamabunta demanded. No one has ridden on my head since the Yondaime Hokage. Fine, I will allow him to be a summoner, but you had better make him into someone dependable. Jiraiya. The giant toad disappeared in a puff of smoke, allowing Jiraiya to catch Naruto as the two fell to the ground. Naruto, you're channeling chakra to your eyes, so stop channeling chakra and the pain should stop too, Jiraiya told him. Naruto did as he was told. He sighed in relief as the pain disappeared. What was that, Ero Sennin? Look at me, Jiraiya ordered, and Naruto did so. It seems that your Rinnegan is different from Nagato's. You can deactivate yours at will. Rinnegan? Naruto asked, confused. A dojutsu said to be the most noble of the three. Supposedly it originated with the Rikudo Sennin, said to be the first shinobi. He created the original forms of jutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, kenjutsu, fuinjutsu and kinjutsu. It's a very dangerous dojutsu, Jiraiya explained. Who is Nagato? Naruto asked him. Nagato was an old student of mine. I heard he died a while back, but he also had the Rinnegan. It's rumored that the Rinnegan always appears when the world becomes corrupt. It's capable of being both a godlike force and an all-obliterating instrument of destruction. I never thought I would see one again. I never wanted to see one again, Jiraiya continued. What should I do? Naruto asked hesitantly. For now keep the fact that you have those eyes a secret. We don't want any of the other countries finding out yet. And we definitely don't need Orochimaru taking an interest in you, Jiraiya told the blonde. Naruto gulped but nodded. Sure thing, Ero Sennin. Jiraiya paused for a moment before letting out a sigh. Alright, let's see if we can get you some semblance of control over the Rinnegan. And maybe Kyuubi's chakra. Fire Country, Konoha, Chunin Exam Arena. The day of the exam finals, the entire village was abuzz with activity, but none more than the arena itself. People from all over the elemental countries had come to watch the tournament, where the strongest genin from the various villages came to see if they could be promoted. Among them were the members of the infamous Konoha 12, as they were being called now. The Hokage, Kazekage, and surprising the Raikage had shown up to watch the tournament even though he didn't have anyone participating in the exam. When asked why he was there, he just said that he came to watch the tournament. The participants soon arrived and stood in the middle of the field, but Uchiha Sasuke, the heir to the Uchiha clan, had yet to arrive. Silently Sarutobi Hiruzen cursed Kakashi constant lateness. Why did he have to be late now of all times? Sasuke-kun's still not here, Ino said as she looked down from the audience. Sakura remained silent beside her as she thought about her missing teammate. Ino nudged her. Hey. I know you're worried about Sasuke-kun, but Naruto's match is first, so why don't you stop fretting and cheer him on? Sakura turned to look at her old friend and smiled. Yeah. The first match of the Chunin exams will now begin. Will Hyuga Neji and Uzumaki Naruto step forward while the other competitors go the fighter's box to wait until it is your turn, said the examiner, Jinma. As the other participants left the two, Ino couldn't help but say, he's up against Neji, can he actually win against him? I don't know, Sakura said honestly as she remembered their mission to Wave Country and their time in the Forest of Death. She smiled slightly, but he won't go down easy. The kid doesn't stand a chance. He's fighting a Hyuga. Someone in the audience spoke up and several others agreed with him. Kiba just grinned slightly at that. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Look at what happened though. I got my ass kicked. Up in the cage box, the three assembled cages looked down at the two fighters. So that's the Hyuga progeny? Asked the Raikage. Hiruzen nodded slightly. Yes, he is. His father was the one that died during the incident with your predecessor Raikage Dono. The Raikage nodded in understand. I'm sure the boy must hold much animosity towards our village. The boy will have an easy win, spoke the Kazekage. Hiruzen let a small smirk grace his lips. We shall see. The Raikage looked over at his bodyguard, a 13-year-old Kumo Chunin by the name of Ni Yugito. What is it, Yugito-chan? Grandfather, that blonde boy, I sense a great power within him, the blonde girl whispered to him. The Raikage nodded and whispered back, yes, I feel it too. Yugito nodded. What should we do? The Raikage just smiled at his granddaughter. Just watch this tournament closely. I vow to win, Naruto spoke as he thrust out his hand towards Neji. He remembered his meeting with Hinata back in the training field before he came to stadium and silently swore that he would do everything within his power to defeat Neji. You appear to believe you can win, Neji chuckled in amusement. You cannot change destiny though, fate has already decided the outcome of this match. I cannot wait to see your eyes when you realize the truth, he continued as he settled into his Juken stance. Naruto just grinned in response, whatever. Let's go wild. Let the first match of the chunin exam finals begin. Now. Genma called out as he jumped out of the way of the two. Almost immediately Naruto made a hand seal, Taju Kage Bunshin on Jutsu. 20 shadow clones popped into existence in front of Naruto and he called out, charge. The kid knows the Taju Kage Bunshin on Jutsu, that's a Jonin level Kinjutsu. Where did he learn that, and more importantly how can he use it so effortlessly? Izumo asked as he observed the fight. I don't understand, he can't even pull off a simple Bunshin no Jutsu, how can he use a more powerful version of the technique? Asked Kotetsu in confusion. The fool, Neji thought as the clones charged. He activated his Byakugan and smirked at the oncoming one-man army. His clones have an equal amount of chakra in them, so I am unable to ascertain which one is the real one, but you cannot fool my eyes. He dodged the attacks the clones sent at him and charged right at Naruto. The one who hangs back while his clones fight is the real one. He lands a Juken strike at Naruto's heart and sends him crashing into the nearby tree. It's over. The Naruto he hit, however, suddenly disappeared in a puff of smoke a moment later. What? The ground below at his feet suddenly parted as Naruto emerged and landed a solid blow to the Hyuga's chin, sending him flying back. Now good enough. Neji recovered, however, and shot the blonde a glare. I came into this match knowing I'd probably lose, but I hate it when bastards like you say there is no hope at all, so I won't take it lying down. Naruto shouted at him. How did you do it? I always kept my eyes on your original body, Neji asked with a glare. Do you really think I was using those clones to fight you? I was just using them to find out what you were made of. Do you really think I'm stupid enough to fight a Hyuga in close combat without an ace up my sleeve? Naruto shot back with a grin. This ignorant little, Neji trailed off as his eyes narrowed. The clones also served another purpose, Naruto stated. And what might that be? Asked the Hyuga progeny. To find out if there was gap in your line of sight, the blonde answered truthfully. What? Neji turned swiftly in surprise but was unprepared for one of Naruto's clones to land a rather powerful punch to his face. The blow sent him flying back with the clones in pursuit. He located the gap in my eyesight with his clones. Finish him now. Naruto shouted to his clones as they took out their weapons to finish the job. I have no choice. I must use that jutsu, Neji thought as he touched back down on solid ground and expelled chakra from all over his body. Kaiten. He called out as he spun and encased himself in a large ball of spinning chakra. The clones were destroyed in moments. He's really pushing Neji into a corner, Ino said in disbelief. Go Naruto. Sakura cheered at seeing her teammate beating the Hyuga. I don't believe it, Izumo said, not believing what he was seeing. This kid, Kotetsu muttered under his breath as he watched Neji execute a Kaiten. That plan was worthy of a practical joke, Izumo said as he let a small grin form on his lips. Impressive, the Raikage commented as the Hokage smiled slightly. The boy thought up a plan almost instantly to throw off his opponent, he continued. Hiruzen nodded slightly at that. The boy continues to surprise me as well. The Kazekage remained silent as he kept his calculating eyes on the arena below. This guy, Yugito thought from the side as she watched the match. Do you see how you cannot change destiny? My fate is to win this match. You cannot stand against fate, Neji told him. Naruto remained silent, so he continued, I have had enough of your games, I shall end this now. He charged forward faster than Naruto could react, Haka Rokujuyan show. The blonde genin couldn't help but stand there as he was battered by Neji's barrage of strikes. Every strike felt like he had been hit by hundreds of needles at once, and he soon found himself being sent flying back by Neji's final open palm strike to his chest. He coughed up some blood as his body hit the ground and Neji smirked at his handiwork. It's over, the Hyuga progeny said in finality. He's done for, Izumo sighed at seeing the brutal attack. I guess I should have expected this outcome, Ino shook her head as she leaned back. Naruto, Sakura thought as she remembered what he had done in the preliminaries. He is a very entertaining boy, but he is still no match for a genius, the Kazekage spoke in slight amusement at seeing the blonde genin go down. Hiruzen remained silent as he sent a sideways glance at his fellow Kage. It's almost like he's referring to someone else. The Raikage didn't speak, instead opting to just watch. Somehow I doubt it's over. That was too easy. Proctor, call the match. He's not getting up, Neji stated confidently. Sadly, reality didn't agree with him. Naruto rose a moment later. He glowed red as an enormous amount of crimson chakra erupted from his body. Wanna bet? How? Neji asked as he took a step back at seeing the red chakra. He focused in on its source and his eyes widened further. Was that a fox? Ero Sennin told me not to use the Rinnegan unless I had to. I guess I'll just have to stick with the furball's chakra, Naruto thought as the chakra encased his body in what looked like flames. He clenched his as he settled his gaze on his opponent. Now do you understand, bastard? I had you beat from the start. I just wanted you to show me your trump cards first so I knew what to expect. Neji's eyes widened at that. He had this planned from the start. He's a Jinchuriki, the Raikage spoke as he watched the match. Yes, I believe it's the Kyuubi, Yugito said barely above a whisper. This will be interesting, the Raikage smirked as he continued to watch. This chakra, when did he learn to control it in a stable form? Did Kakashi teach him this? Were the thoughts running through Hiruzen's head? The Kazekage continued to watch in silent anger. Naruto cocked his fist back and then threw it out at Neji. A moment later the air around his fist rippled and was propelled towards where Neji stood. The Hyuga progeny could barely dodge as the shockwave blew away the ground he had been standing on just moments ago. Just then Naruto shot forward faster than he had been before and Neji turned swiftly to intercept him. A moment later Naruto disappeared in a burst of speed surprising Neji and he couldn't turn in time to block the punch that connected with his face. He's faster than before. What's going on here? Neji thought as he recovered from the blow but couldn't stop the follow-up attacks that Naruto delivered one after another. I have to keep in close and not let him escape, Naruto thought as he delivered yet another punch to the young Hyuga's face. It's no good, Neji thought as he began to spin with chakra erupting from him. Kaiten. Naruto jumped away to avoid the boy's ultimate defense. You cannot defeat me. Fate will not allow it, he told the blonde. It may be the Hyuga way to cave into destiny but it's not mine. If you believe that you can't change it then don't try, just stand there and take it. Naruto shouted as he threw out a punch Neji which sent a shockwave at him. Kaiten. The Hyuga progeny spun as he released a large amount of chakra. The shockwave slammed into his chakra barrier and was harmlessly deflected. What a fool, direct assaults don't work on me. Now. Naruto shot forward faster than the average eye could see and just as Neji powered down his jutsu Naruto struck. You shouldn't let your guard down. The blonde shouted as he cocked his fist back. There's not enough time to use the Kaiten again. He had this planned. Neji's eyes widened as Naruto came within range. There was an echoing slam as Naruto's fist connected with Neji's unprotected face. The Hyuga progeny couldn't even register that he had been sent flying through the air before crashing hard into the stadium wall. He dropped out of the hole in the wall and collapsed on the ground a moment later. I am defeated, Neji thought as he tried to remain conscious. He looked up to see Naruto towering over his beaten form. I was careless. For the record, I failed the academy exam 3 times. Because unluckily for me there was always one jutsu on the exam. The Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto told him making his eyes go wide. My clones were pathetic, they still are, he continued. Neji looked up at him surprised, but you. The reason I can't create regular clones is because I have too much chakra to make them. That's why I can create Jonin-level shadow clones so easily. That's what you saw today, not my weaknesses but my strengths. Hinata is the same way, you always see her weaknesses but never her strengths. For someone who is supposed to be able to see everything, you sure are blind, Naruto told him. Don't come to me with this destiny stuff, because unlike me you're not a failure, he finished with a grin and turned away. Winner. Uzumaki Naruto, the examiner declared as he gestured towards the orange-clad blonde genin. Fire Country, Konoha, Chunin Exam Arena. He won. Sakura shouted and the crowd burst into cheers. How did he? I mean did you see that? Ino asked as she saw Naruto walk off towards the exit with his arm held up high acknowledgement as he moved. Of course I did, Sakura told her as she saw Genma say a few words to Neji before the medics took him away. I can't believe the kid actually won, Izumo said as he watched. Kotetsu nodded at that. I can't believe he was able to use its chakra in a stable form. Who would teach him something like that though? Not everyone is able to actually teach someone how to control a power like that, Izumo asked. I don't know but whoever it is did a hell of a job, Kotetsu stated as Naruto got back to the examinee's box. Yugito smirked like a cat as it stalks a mouse. He's not bad. The Raikage let a wry smile creep its way onto his face. He's interesting. A bit reckless, but if he's given enough training he could be a very formidable adversary. He kind of reminds me of them now that I think about it. Who, grandfather? Yugito asked him curiously. Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, the Raikage whispered to her. Yugito looked at him wide-eyed. Wait, his surname is Uzumaki, you don't think that he... The Raikage chuckled slightly. I have never heard of a blonde-haired Uzumaki before, it makes you wonder. The others in the box, however, weren't paying any attention to them since they were already deep in their own thoughts. Very good, Naruto-kun, you will definitely make chunin if I have anything to say about it, the Hokage thought as he looked down on the competitor's box. That brat, I must make sure he dies today. He could become a problem for me in the future if I leave him alone, the Kazekage thought as he stared down on at the arena waiting for the next match to begin. In the stands a disguised Kabuto stood confused since his master had not given the signal to start the invasion by now. He had thought it was because Sasuke was not there so he could keep an eye on the boy, but now, it was almost like his master was waiting for something. The Genin cast his gaze towards where Naruto was talking to his Nara friend in the competitor's box and narrowed his eyes. Orochimaru-sama must want you dead, Naruto-kun, if he's postponed the invasion, Kabuto thought. The next match was supposed to be between Uchiha Sasuke and Sabaku no Gaara. It turned out, however, that Sasuke hadn't shown up, so his match was pushed back to last, much to frustration of the other competitors, though each of them for different reasons. The next match was between Nara Shikamaru and Sabaku no Temari. Let's just say it was mostly one-sided. Shikamaru had thought up multiple strategies on top of strategies and finally managed to catch Temari in his shadow jutsu, which rendered her practically defeated. He of course forfeited a moment later, saying it was too troublesome to continue. The match after that was supposed to be between Aburame Shino and Sabaku no Kankuro. That didn't happen, however. Kankuro had forfeited before the match even began, and almost instantly Shino and Shikamaru knew something was up. Shino discreetly drained Temari and Kankuro of chakra, though his bugs refused to go near Gaara for some reason. Apparently his chakra was foul, by bug standards. The final match of the quarter-finals finally began, however, between Uchiha Sasuke and Sabaku no Gaara. Sasuke had arrived just in time, though at the very last second, after being given another 5 minutes to arrive, with Kakashi. By now Naruto, Shikamaru and Shino had come up to the stands and had met up with their friends. It turns out that Hinata had been healed by some Anbu that was in the stadium during Naruto's match with Neji. Hey Naruto, Kakashi said as he approached his blonde student. Naruto looked over his shoulder and greeted him. Hey Kakashi-sensei, how are you? The copy nin nodded as they turned their attention towards the match. I'm alright. I'm sorry I couldn't train you for the finals, Naruto, but I had other matters to attend to. Naruto nodded as he clenched his fists. Yeah, like teaching Sasuke cool jutsus, I bet. Kakashi looked saddened for a moment before saying, hey now Naruto, I didn't. Chidori. Sasuke called out from the arena as his fist was engulfed in lightning. You were saying? Naruto growled under his breath. He needed it in order to effectively fight Gaara, Kakashi said, trying to defend himself as he saw his prized student move to attack a ball of sand that Gaara was now encased in. Hey, Naruto chuckled slightly. What's so funny? Kakashi asked with a raised eyebrow. It's funny because even with that new jutsu of his, he won't win, Naruto said with an almost darkened chuckle. Why is it that you believe that? The copy nin asked as his eyes narrowed. Naruto shot him a small smirk. Because he's fighting a demon container, we're not easily beaten by a thing like that. Kakashi's eyes widened in surprise as he saw Sasuke was forced to back off after he landed his Chidori attack. Sand erupted from the sphere that protected Gaara and began to batter the weakened Sasuke, much to the shock of the crowd. Just as Gaara was about to deal the finishing blow, Kakashi jumped down and retrieved his student as Genma called the match. After Kakashi laid Sasuke down in the stands next to a now tearful Sakura, Gaara called out to the stands, "Come out Uzumaki Naruto. Mother wants your blood." The stadium fell silent at the proclamation before the sound of footsteps could be heard. Naruto had turned and begun moving towards the stairs. Naruto, you can't seriously be thinking of fighting that monster, are you? Look at what he did to Sasuke-kun. Sakura shouted in disbelief. Naruto just chuckled with his back towards her and the rest of the Rookie Nine, as they were called, a monster, huh? You have no idea. He just kept walking, and made to pass his sensei. Naruto, you should forfeit. Gaara is not an ordinary shinobi, even I would be hard-pressed to defeat him, Kakashi told him truthfully. Naruto just shook his head and passed by his sensei in a heartbeat. I can't do that, sensei, I can feel it, he's someone like me, I have to find out which one of us chose the right path. Alright then, good luck, the copy nin whispered as he watched his blonde student head down the stairs. Was that really such a good idea, Kakashi? Asuma asked him with a raised eyebrow. Watch this match carefully and you'll find out the answer, was all Kakashi said as he turned his attention back down to the arena floor. Naruto reached the walked out on the arena floor while keeping his eyes on his opponent. The red-haired boy had a crazed look on his face which described his anger at not being allowed to kill the Uchiha in his last match. Naruto wouldn't admit it, but he was actually afraid of Gaara for the sheer power he possessed and the fact that he would kill anyone who caught his interest. Gaara was holding his head slightly with one hand and the other was clutching the closing wound that Sasuke had done to him during the last match. Sasuke really did a number on this guy, Naruto mused as he saw the wound. Begin. Genma called out as he jumped away from the two fighters. Almost immediately Gaara sent a large cluster of sand at Naruto at high speeds which Naruto tried to dodge as it came at him. He rolled under another line of sand and jumped onto the side of the arena wall while using chakra to stick to it. Enough dodging, Naruto thought as he jumped off of the wall to avoid another cluster of sand from pummeling him. He made a hand seal and immediately 7 clones popped into existence beside him, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Hold still, Uzumaki Naruto, Gaara said crazed as he unleashed a wave of sand upon the clones. Yusa Bakuryu, he called out as he attacked. The clones were wiped out in matter of seconds, but so was Naruto, as well, leaving the arena baron beside himself. Come out, Uzumaki Naruto. 3 clones appeared around him and attacked one at a time. The first was stabbed with a lance of sand, the second was cut in half and the last was slammed down onto the ground. It all happened in a matter of seconds, but it was just a distraction, and a test of sorts. A moment later Gaara turned only for Naruto to appear and deliver a solid punch to the Chunin's face. Gaara grunted as he flew back several feet before skidding slightly and regaining his balance. He was testing how long it takes my sand to move. A crack had formed on his cheek which signified that the layer of sand that protected his body had been hit. This guy, how do I beat him? While I got friends who helped with my loneliness, he remained alone all this time, Naruto thought as he stared at his opponent. Only then can you be truly strong. The distant memory echoed through his mind and his eyes hardened. What did he say? I can't remember, he growled in thought and watched as Gaara began to laugh. Now what? Gaara's laughter grew as sand began to creep up his body and engulfed him. It consumed him as his chaotic laughter echoed through the stadium until the sand took the shape of a raccoon with diamond-like eyes. You're interesting, Uzumaki Naruto, Gaara roared as he jumped towards the blonde. What is this feeling? Naruto thought as he felt anxiety, dread and also, excitement. Was it? He didn't know. What he did know, however, was that every part of him was screaming to fight and win. He jumped back as Gaara crashed down on where he was standing a moment ago. For some reason I don't want to lose to this guy. What's he doing? He's a sitting duck, Kiba growled as he watched the match. I am unsure, Shino commented puzzled also. Quote. He's trying to find a reason to fight, Kakashi explained to the assembled group. A reason? What good will that do? Kiba asked surprised. The copy nin sighed and shook his head. If you were in his position, what would you fight for? Well, the Inuzuka Genin thought about it for a moment before answer. Well, I guess, my family and friends. I mean, I wouldn't want to let him down or nothing. Exactly. Naruto is the same way, but in this case he doesn't really have a reason to fight and so can't win against Gaara as he is now, Kakashi finished. What about Neji then? He beat Neji in the first round, so he must have a reason, Ino spoke up. Kakashi sighed with a nod. His reason for that was most likely for Hinata-san back in the preliminaries. Hey, take a look, he's fighting back again, Sakura said, catching their attention. Watch this match carefully, you're about to see exactly what Naruto is capable of, Kakashi said with a grin under his mask, surprising the assembled Genin and Jonin. What does he mean by that? The Genin asked in thought. Do you have someone precious to you? I understand now, Naruto whispered as he stood up. When a person has something they want to protect, that's when they become truly strong. I've been seeing his face since this fight started, but I couldn't seem to remember what he said or who he was. Now I know though. I will not lose to you. Naruto shouted as he started making hand seals as fast as he could. Come on, I just need to summon one of the lower toads, he thought as he slammed his open palm down on the ground. Kuchio's no jutsu, called out as a small red toad appeared in front of him. Hey bro, you must be Naruto. I've been told about you, the toad spoke. Gaara laughed at the sight and crossed his arms. This is what you bring forth to aid you. Pathetic. Sooner shuriken. He let loose a volley of sand at him in the shape of a cluster of shuriken. Hold on. Naruto shouted as he grabbed a hold the toad and jumped to avoid the volley. He grunted in pain as 3 of the sand shurikens grazed his shoulder and leg. Damn. You okay bro? The toad asked, slightly worried. Naruto just chuckled in response since his wounds had already healed. I'm just fine, stay out of trouble until I need you. Run and hide, I gotcha. The name's Gamakichi, just so you know. Gamakichi did a mock salute and jumped away towards the nearby tree. Alright you, playtime's over, Naruto said as crimson chakra erupted from his body and engulfed him in what appeared to be flames. Let's go wild. Well at least we know who trained him, Kakashi said as he grinned under his mask. Of course only Jiraiya-sama could have to summon toads and control that chakra, he finished. Guy nodded at his side having assumed his thinking pose, even so, to actually be able to use it in a stable form. Asuma nodded, everyone from Konoha is in shock at seeing him wield it like this. That's 2 trump cards he's used in this match, that chakra and his summoning, I wonder if he's got anything else, Kakashi mused as he watched the 2 fighters charge at one another. Not likely, Kotetsu said from the side. Kakashi just grinned under his mask, oh I wouldn't be so sure of that. Still I wonder why Jiraiya-sama would teach a genin let alone him of all people, Asuma wondered aloud. Kakashi narrowed his eyes at the man for a second. Naruto is no ordinary child. We are aware of that Kakashi-san, Kurenai stated. Kakashi just shook his head, no you aren't. There are things about Naruto that no one in Konoha can understand, things that are far bigger than the burden he carries and would shake this village to its very foundations. He fell silent, allowing the other Jonin to think about what he had said. The small shockwave blew Gaara back, but he landed in a crouch and recovered in moments. A second later Naruto appeared in front of him and landed a kick to his sand-covered head. He slammed hard into the arena wall, leaving a small crater in his wake. Almost instantly Naruto was in front of him again and punched him into the wall with his red chakra-covered fist. Dust shot out from where they stood when he landed the blow, but it cleared just as fast. Naruto grabbed Gaara's sand tail and swung him round before slamming him into the wall again with even greater force. After a few more seconds passed, Naruto was blown back by Gaara's large sand claw and landed sprawled at the base of the nearby tree. Bro, Gamakichi asked as he saw his summoner stand up. I'm fine, he's tough, Naruto told him as he saw Gaara stand up also. Ha 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 ha. Gaara laugh echoed throughout the stadium as sand began to gather around him. You amuse me Uzumaki Naruto, he continued to laugh as the sand engulfed him in a column of sorts. Now what is he doing? Naruto asked in thought before the column of sand suddenly exploded upwards and outwards. Damn, he thought as he scrambled for cover. After the dust settled he stepped out from behind the tree he had used with Gamakichi now resting on his head. Well shit. Where Gaara once stood now stood a 40-foot tall tanuki made of sand. This just got a lot harder. Bro, how do you plan on beating this guy? Gamakichi asked him nervously. I'm working on it. Fire Country, Konoha, Chunin Exam Arena. What the hell is that? Ino asked in a shout as she saw most of the higher-ranking ninja around them looking like they were having a panic attack. That is a demon, Kakashi said simply. What? Ino asked in fear. It's the Ichibi no Tanuki, also known as Suna no Shukaku, Guy explained further. It's one of the Biju, albeit the weakest of the 9, with Kyuubi being the strongest, Asuma told the genin. This battle has just risen to a whole other level, Kakashi stated as he looked down towards his blonde student. Dobe. Sasuke thought, having regained consciousness. Naruto, Sakura thought worriedly. Shouldn't we stop this? Kurenai asked the other Jonin. Kakashi however shook his head. No, let's see how this plays out. So they are both Jinchuriki, interesting, I wonder what level they are both currently at, the Raikage mused upon seeing the giant sand tanuki. I think they're on my level grandfather, judging by how they're fighting right now, Yugito commented. The Raikage nodded in agreement. They are both on the chunin level normally, but when they access their inner powers like this, they look to be on the jonin level. What should we do, grandfather? The Kumo chunin asked him. Nothing yet, he answered as he returned his attention to the match. Beside him the Hokage watched in interest, having not expected this outcome. Suna sent a Jinchuriki into the exam, I wonder why. Especially one with such a poor containment seal, it's almost like they were planning to use him for something, but what? No, this isn't going like I had planned at all, the Kazekage thought angrily as he watched the match progress. Have you got a plan, bro? Gamakichi asked hopefully. Naruto nodded as he bit his thumb and started making hand seals, just one. It will take all of Kyuubi's chakra I currently have to use though, he added mentally as he finished. He slammed his open palm down on the ground and called out, Kuchio's no jutsu. There was a sudden explosion of smoke from where he was standing, and the next thing he knew he was standing on a 40-foot toad he knew all too well. Gamabunta, the boss of the toads. He had of course drained every last bit of Kyuubi's chakra he possessed to do it without harming himself, which left him a bit drained physically, but he still had his normal chakra reserves left, so he wasn't complaining. What the hell is that? Kiba asked upon seeing the giant toad in samurai robes with a large dagger at his side. That is the boss toad, Gamabunta. I never thought I'd see him again, Kakashi said surprised. That last time he has been seen by anyone from Konoha was 12 years ago on the night the Yondaime Hokage defeated the Kyuubi no Kitsune, Asuma explained to the genin. Really? Sakura asked, having never read about that detail. Grandfather, isn't that, Yugito began. Yes, the Reikage interrupted. No genin should have the chakra too, she tried to finish. I know, he interrupted again, already knowing what she was going to say. Jiraiya Dono definitely has been teaching this boy. Naruto-kun knew. Hiruzen trailed off in thought upon seeing the giant toad. This damned brat, the Kazekage, was seething at the sight unnoticed to the other occupants of the booth. The two large creatures had all but taken up all of the room in the stadium, with only a small, by their standards, gap between them. The toad puffed his smoking pipe and looked up to the figure that stood on his head. The one that reminded him of his previous summoner. Not you again, boy, what do you want? Gamabunta asked, annoyed. Naruto looked down into his eyes with a look of disbelief. Do you not see the giant tanuki in front of you? Gamabunta turned his gaze towards the monstrous sand creature and narrowed his eyes. That's Shukaku. I need your help, Naruto said simply as he looked over at where Shukaku stood, with Gaara now visibly standing on top of it. And what makes you think I'll help you fight him of all things? The last time I fought a Biju I received this scar on my eye, Gamabunta told him. Oh come on Pops, don't be like that. Help the kid out, would ya? Gamakichi asked from on Naruto's head. Pops. Wait, you two are father and son. Why have I heard none of this? The blonde genin asked, surprised. And what are you doing here, Gamakichi? Gamabunta inquired when he saw the toad that was his son. Well, I came out to play a while back, but that guy over there started bullying me, Gamakichi answered as he pointed towards the giant sand demon. What? Gamabunta droned as he drew his dagger. All right, boy, I'll help you out this once, but you owe me a drink, the toad boss said, and Naruto nodded in understanding. As for you, Gamabunta took 2 steps forward surprisingly quickly considering his size and sliced Shukaku's right arm clean off. No one attacks my son and gets away with it, he shouted as he backed off to avoid the counterattack, and the sand arm dissolved. Ha 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 ha. Gaara laughed insanely as he made a hand seal. You amuse me, Uzumaki Naruto, but your entertainment has come to an end. Tanuki Neri no Jutsu. His body fell unconscious in a matter of seconds as Shukaku's eyes sparked with life. Ha 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 ha. Shukaku's laughter echoed throughout the stadium, scaring the crowd and everyone else. That's the demon? Naruto asked in disbelief at seeing the clearly mad Tanuki. Gamabunta simply stared impassively. Yes. That's Shukaku. He was always the craziest of the Biju. Believe it, Naruto said weakly as Shukaku's gaze settled on them. Oh goody, my first victims, Shukaku chuckled and inhaled a large amount of air. Kid, we're going to jump, Gamabunta told him. What? Naruto asked, surprised only to find that the toad boss had jumped high into the air. Futon, Renkuden. Shukaku bellowed as he exhaled a large ball of concentrated wind at where the toad boss had stood just moments ago. The blast exploded with tremendous force through the wall, which immediately leveled it. You won't escape, he shouted, crazed as tracked them and launched another attack. Futon, Renkuden. Boss! Naruto shouted upon seeing the three monstrous attacks coming at them. I see them. Tsuten, Teppadama no Jutsu. Gamabunta called out as he released two condensed blasts of water downwards. Is this a fight or a storm? Ino shouted as the two attacks collided and sent water spraying everywhere like it was raining. Go Naruto! Sakura cheered seeing her teammate winning. Damn, it looks like they missed one, Kiba growled as they all saw one of the wind balls continue on towards the Toad boss high in the sky. Well, this is turning into quite the battle, the Raikage commented upon seeing the attacks the two were throwing at each other. Who do you think will win, grandfather? Yugito asked him. The Raikage remained silent, but the smirk remained on his face as he returned his attention to the fight. You missed one, boss. Naruto shouted as he saw the wind blast coming towards them at high velocity. Damn. Gamabunta grunted knowing there was nothing he could do. This isn't going to be pretty, Gamakichi said as he covered his eyes. Time suddenly seemed to freeze for a moment as Naruto closed his eyes and breathed slowly. He slowly opened his eyes, having sent chakra to them, and they now looked like they had rings around the pupils and turned the color gray. Time returned to normal as he pointed his hand down towards the wind attack and whispered two simple words. Shinra Tensei. Almost immediately the wind bullet dissipated into nothingness and Gamabunta fell back towards the ground. He landed in a crouch at the other end of the stadium and grinned as he looked up at his summoner. Naruto stood firm on the Toad boss head with his eyes glowing slightly gray, and his jacket was now open and swishing slightly in the wind, just like his previous summoner. Those eyes? Shukaku shook slightly upon seeing them. The Rinnegan, he growled out, no longer amused. What happened? Ino asked, confused. What's up with Naruto's eyes? Kiba asked as he tried to get a better look at them. He's using chakra in his eyes, Hinata stuttered out. Why? Sakura asked, confused. That's the. Kakashi eyes widened as he heard what the sand demon had said. The Rinnegan, the first Dujutsu, and has only ever belonged to the first shinobi. The Rikudo Sennin and the man who founded the shinobi world, Asuma explained, just as surprised as everyone else. Wait, you're saying the Dobe has a bloodline? Kiba asked, looked between the Jonin. Apparently so, Kakashi answered, trying to calm himself. Why wasn't I told? Dobe? Sasuke's eyes narrowed in anger at this little piece of information. What is that, grandfather? Yugito asked as she looked the way Naruto stood on Gamabunta's head. That is the Rinnegan, an extremely powerful Dujutsu, and I think it is the reason my brother asked me to attend this little event. He did say he felt something unusual coming from Konoha. Now I know what he meant, the Raikage explained. There's no doubt about it, that's the Rinnegan, but how is that possible? Neither Minato-kun nor Kushina-chan had it, so why does Naruto-kun have it? 100 thoughts and questions ran through the Hokage's head as he tried to understand what was happening. How can that failure have that Dujutsu? I cannot let him live. He could very well become an even bigger annoyance than Pain, the Kazekage, thought angrily as he weighed his options. Believe it, Naruto grinned, as did Gamabunta and Gamakichi. Yeah. The young Toad cheered and jumped off the boy's head as his father dashed forward and crossed the stadium in a matter of seconds. They took up most of it. Shukaku raised his one arm and made to backhand the oncoming Toad when he suddenly found his left sand arm blown off of his body. Shinra Tensei. Naruto called out, having used his gravity manipulation to destroy the arm. He panted slightly, having used up most of his chakra reserves doing so many high-ranking jutsu plus accessing Kyuubi's chakra. Grab him now. Right. Gamabunta shouted in acknowledgement and proceeded to grab onto Shukaku's shoulders. Go. Naruto jumped towards where Gaara stood unconscious on the sand creature's head. Wakey wakey. Naruto called out as he landed a solid punch to the unprotected redhead's face. Rise and shine. He slid down the tanuki's nose as Gaara seemed to shake for a moment. Wake up, you bastard. Gaara's eyes snapped open and he immediately glared at the blonde for waking him. You had enough yet? Naruto asked as he suddenly started to move again. Not so fast. Gaara bellowed as sand shot up, trying to encase Naruto. Shit. Naruto thought as he raised both of his hands in opposite directions. Shinra Tensei. Her called out as the sand was blasted away with pure gravity. He continued running up towards where Gaara stood while dodging the spears of sand that were sent at him. I have to get in close or I'm dead. Hold still. Roared the Ichibi Jinchuriki as the entire Shukaku body tried to break free of Gamabunta's hold. Hurry up, kid. I can't hold him for long, Gamabunta grunted as he tried to hold on. My existence will not end here. Gaara shouted as Naruto jumped up towards where he was located. Shinra Tensei. He called out as he blasted the sand away that tried to intercept him and landed yet another solid punch to the Sunanin's unprotected face. Got you, he grinned as the sand tanuki started to crack around them before finally it all fell down and dissolved. We'll be going now, kid. Come on, Gamakichi, Gamabunta said before he and his son disappeared in a large puff of smoke. The two shinobi touched down on the now sand-covered ground and sluggishly they both climbed to their feet. Gaara raised his hand towards Naruto and had the sand at the blonde's feet surround him, Sabaku Q. He clamped his fist together and called out, Sabaku Soso. Shinra Tensei. Naruto shouted as he blasted the sand away from him along the rest of the sand within a 20-feet radius. Those eyes won't help you here. Gaara shouted in anger as he charged forward having expended the last of his chakra. Naruto swung his arm out towards him and shouted, Shinra Tensei. Gaara immediately found himself being pulled backwards by an invisible force crashed through the nearby tree which surprisingly had remained standing throughout the clash between the two giants from before. Gaara tried to stand but couldn't find the strength to do so and collapsed onto the ground unable to move. Are you done yet? Naruto asked, exhaustion clear in his voice. My existence won't be extinguished. I won't allow it. The Ichibi Jinchuriki cried out almost terrified as Naruto slowly and sluggishly made his way towards him. The pain of being alone, it's not trivial, I understand, but I won't allow you to hurt those that are important to me, Naruto told him as looked down at the fallen Sunanin. Why do you go so far for others? Gaara asked, not understanding. Because they saved me from my own darkness, someone once told me, when a person has something they want to protect. That's when they become truly strong, Naruto answered truthfully. Gaara simply stared at him for a moment before he said, I see, I cannot win. Genma approached the two and upon hearing Gaara's declaration held up his hand to where Naruto stood. Winner. Uzumaki Naruto. He won. Chuji cried out happily and the crowd burst into cheers around him. He actually went and did it, Ino commented in disbelief at her side. Nice one, Naruto. Kiba cheered at seeing his friend's victory. Naruto-kun, Hinata smiled down at where the blonde stood. He won. Yugito asked, not believing her eyes. He actually won. She let a smile grace her features as she stared down the boy. Why, Yugito-chan, if I didn't know any better I would say you had a crush on the young lad, the Reikage commented innocently. Don't be ridicule's grandfather, Yugito stuttered in protest as her cheeks turned slightly red. You're blushing, the Reikage teased. I am not, she said forcefully. Well, I hope you get used to the idea of working with him because if my plan works out you will be seeing a lot more of him, the Reikage smirked making her look at him in confusion. Well done, Naruto-kun, though I have to wonder why the Rinnegan would be awakened in you, thought the man who was nicknamed the God of Shinobi. I must begin the attack now, the Kazekage thought frantically. Naruto swayed slightly but was caught by a red blur which he quickly recognized as Jiraiya of the Sannin. Great work, kid, keep this up and you'll reach your dream in no time at all. Spoke the Gama Sennin confidently. Ero Sennin? Naruto asked weakly as his eyes closed. Jiraiya nodded as he laid his godson down on the ground to avoid injury. Sleep now, kid. You earned it. Moments later though a large purple barrier went up around the roof of the cage's booth and a genjutsu fell upon the stadium. This marked the beginning of what later became the Suna Oto invasion as a combined attack force of Oto and Suna nins launched a strike on the village hidden in the leaves. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.